What's going on, everyone? I'm James Young with jamesyoungphotography.com. This is Teach Me How to Lightroom. Today we're taking a look how to do HDR directly in Lightroom without doing anything crazy, by doing it the most simple and effective way, straight in Lightroom. So let's take a look at this. Here's some bracketed exposures I took while out in the field. I did automatic bracketing. So the camera did one that was under, one that was over, and one that made sure that nothing was clipped. And check this out. We can do a few things in Lightroom straight out of the gate. One thing that we can do is when we're in the library module is go to photo, stacking, and then go to auto stack by capture time. Now check this out. If you're doing bracketed exposures with the intent to either make HDR images or even a super panoramic image, auto stacking by capture time can be pretty clutch. You can see here I have a bunch of sequences, a bunch of bracketed exposures, and this will automatically combine the files basically into one, but not yet, but visually it'll help us out a lot. So I'm gonna set the time between stacks to 1 second, and I'm gonna stack them automatically. Now what we can do is we go back to photo, back to stacking, and then we go to collapse all stacks. Now watch this. Boom. We just reduced our working area substantially. There's a lot less to look at, so things are a lot easier to work with. So you can see here I have a 4 exposure bracketed stack here, and what we want to do is HDRify it. So then we're going to go back into photo, then we're going to go to photo merge and select HDR. Now it's going to render this HDR preview, and as soon as it's done we'll come back to this. So what this has done, this is automatically taken an average of all the images, stacked them all together so that they all match perfectly fine, and give us all of the dynamic range from all of those images. Here it did some auto editing for us. I'm just going to turn that off. Now with de-ghosting, this is going to be subjective to what you're doing. With this image, there's not going to be a lot of change here, whether I choose none or high. I'm just going to leave it how it is. Now down below my screen recording, there's cancel and merge. I'm just going to go ahead and press merge, and it's creating my HDR. Great, so it's done merging all those images into one image here. So now we have an HDR image, and literally what that means is high dynamic range. So now what that means is when we go into the develop module here, we're going to have a whole lot of leeway. So check this out. If I take the highlights and bring them all the way down, boom, we still have so much other information going on here. If I take the shadows and we bring them all the way up, shout out to Fat Joe, we have hardly any noise even at plus 100 on the shadows. We can do the same thing with our whites and maybe even bring the blacks down a little bit, maybe add some contrast, do whatever you want. And then it starts to kind of look like one of those 2010, 2011 HDRs, which is, quite frankly, maybe not my taste. You could always do it if you want, but we're not going to do that. Let's go ahead and reset. But if we want to hit this with a medium contrast curve, maybe open up our shadows a little bit, bring down the highlights a little bit, add some more contrast, add some warmth to the scene. Basically, we're going to be able to do that because we have so much dynamic range to work with. We're going to be able to do that without hurting the file, so to speak, or without introducing a substantial amount of noise. So there we have it, just a few tweaks from that raw file, and you can see there's huge changes being made here. This HDR and bracketing your exposures can be a huge benefit, especially if you're doing landscapes, especially if you're doing things like architecture, where maybe your building is being backlit by a sunset or something like that. Really, the possibilities are endless. So give HDR a try, especially in Lightroom. It makes it so easy. And let me know what your results are. Well, if you learned something today, I really hope you'll like the video. If you're new, it would be awesome if you subscribed. And I'm James Young with JamesYoungPhotography.com, and this is Teach Me How to Lightroom.